There's a story that Geshe Michael tells a lot about, he asked Ken Rinpoche, and they're all back here on this picture here. Geshe Michael asked Ken Rinpoche, it's like, look, we're doing this sadhana, this daily practice for Vajrayogini, and there's like, 200 scenes in there. This happens and that happens, and light goes out and it comes back, and there's this letter and there's this disc, and then, there's like 200 scenes in there. How is that? Can you practice single-pointed meditation, like work your way through the 9 stages, when you're doing this thing that's all over the place? And Ken Rinpoche says, that's a good question. My teacher's coming, I'll ask. So either Ken Rinpoche went out to see Trijang Rinpoche or Trijang Rinpoche, I think he probably went out to India, and he asked Trijang Rinpoche. Now remember, Trijang Rinpoche is a tutor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, okay? So that's where this stuff's coming from. So he knows, if he teaches the Dalai Lama, he probably knows his stuff pretty well. And he was a direct disciple of Paponka Rinpoche, who writes so much of the commentary we're reading. And so he asks him, so, when people are doing the sadhana, the dakye, how can they practice single-pointed meditation, shamatha? And Trijang Rinpoche just looks at him and says, it's all one thing. That's his answer. And that was it. So Ken Rinpoche goes back to Geshe Michael. You know what he said? It's all one thing. So that's a lead into, there's different things you can meditate on, okay? It's not all about meditating on your Lama or a Buddha, or it's like, what if you're, doing 7 limbs on your teacher, your Lama, the Buddha, that's 7 things. That's not one pointed, it's all one thing, okay? One kind of meditation, the one that when we think of meditation, is jokgom. Say jokgom.
Jokgom.
Here's that root of jokpa again. Placement, fixing the mind on an object. Boom. Hang on to the object. Just leave it there. Okay? There's another kind of meditation, and you should be familiar with it because it's in all your homeworks, right? Meditate on the 6 this or the 7 that or the 9 that. Okay? That's a review meditation. Yeah, you have a list of 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 things, whatever, to go through in your meditation, but it's all one thing, okay? That is the subject of your meditation. And then there's analytical meditation, when you really, start kicking it around a little bit. Review meditation is shargom, say shargom?
Shargom.
And then there is analytical meditation. Now, some of our Zen friends or stuff might say, can't analyze, you're supposed to get rid of concepts, nonsense. You start kicking the tires on a thing. So I have this list of things. Does 1 follow from 2? Does 2 follow from 1? Okay, do I go backward? Can I go backwards? It's like, how are these 2 related? Wait a minute, these 2 contradict. How can I have both of those? That's an analytical meditation, when you're really, really working on something deeply. Now I put these numbers here because really what can happen, and what's happened for me sometimes is a meditation, I will start with a review meditation, okay? And then I start analyzing it, like I talked about. And sometimes it comes to a contradiction. After all, in the Indian school that we follow is Prasangika Madhyamaka, which is the middle way sarcastic answer school. So sometimes they will bring you to a point that doesn't make any sense, and then you meditate on that, boom, something will pop out of it. So you start with review, going over the thing, you analyze it, and then something will pop out. It's really hard to describe, you just have to do it, okay? And then you focus on that. Boom, bring it in really tight. And that's where the candy is, all right? That's the fixation meditation. For example, maybe you're meditating on the fact that, okay, there's 6 perfections, you review the perfections, you meditate on how one can lead to the other. Yeah, I can see if I were living an ethical way of life, that would throw me into not getting angry, because how could I be angry at, people, or maybe giving, it's like if I'm giving people all of this and I'm willing to give everything, why do I get angry when I lose something, no big deal. And then joyous effort, and then okay, meditation, which is supposed to bring you to wisdom. But the thing is, those other perfections aren't perfections unless they're done with wisdom, understanding the emptiness of them. So they say you need the first 5 perfections to get to the 6th perfection, wisdom, understanding emptiness. But you need to understand emptiness for the first 5 perfections to be perfections. And so how can you, and then something will pop out of that, some kind of realization or understanding of emptiness. And then you focus on that, and it's awesome. So that concludes the technical meditation part of applied meditation. After the break, we're going to get into what to meditate on. So, smoking if you got 'em. Recognize, hey, you're subtly dull or subtly